All right. Okay, hi everyone. Thank you so much for joining us at Venture Cafe for The Happening inside the Artist Studio Global Edition. I'm super excited to be here. My name is Angela McQuillan and I'm the curator of the Esther Klein Gallery, which is located at the University City Science Center in Philadelphia in the United States, which is also home to Venture Cafe. I've been organizing regular art programming such as artist talks and panel discussions at Venture Cafe in Philly since it opened in 2018. And most recently, I have been hosting a weekly series of virtual artist studio tours ever since our programming went virtual due to the pandemic. So while I miss having events in person, doing virtual programming has really opened up our scope of reach and provided new opportunities to engage and exchange ideas with people both near and far. So I think it's really inspiring to be able to take a look inside art studios and galleries and art spaces and see what kinds of creative programming is happening around the world. So today I'm really excited to be visiting the Angad Arts Hotel in St. Louis, Missouri in the United States, and also the Bna Studio in Tokyo, Japan. So both of these spaces offer very unique creative hotel experiences featuring curated contemporary art. So for today, I want to emphasize we'd love for this talk to be interactive. Each speaker is going to talk for about 10 to 15 minutes and give a tour, and then we'll open it up for Q&A. So feel free to type any questions into the chat box during their presentation, or once we open it up for questions, feel free to just unmute yourself and ask your questions directly. So first on the agenda, we're going to hear from Vanessa Rudloff, who's the Arts Relations Manager at the Angad Arts Hotel in the United States. This hotel is located in the heart of St. Louis, Missouri's Grand Center Arts District and offers hospitality combined with curation of socially inspiring experiences. It's the first hotel in the world where guests are able to book their luxury accommodations, not only by room type, but also by emotion of color. So in addition to working at the Angad Hotel and being the curator of the artworks since 2018, Vanessa is also an experienced fashion and editorial photographer, painter, a lifelong arts community advocate, and an influential resident in the Grand Arts Center community. So please welcome our guest, Vanessa Rudloff.
Hello everyone, welcome.
Hi.
Good morning, as it is here early, and thank you for joining us. And we're gonna go ahead and start the tour on the first floor, and we're gonna go all through the building. So I hope you guys are ready for lots of surprise, delight, and joy. That's what we do here. So we are here in the first floor lobby, and this is our quarterly exhibit space. And one of the things that we really drive home here at Angad Arts Hotel is all of our art is local and regional artists. They're only artists within 200 miles of our building. So we hold our community very, very dear. So in this exhibit space, this is a theme space for two Colombian artists that now live and work here in St. Louis, Missouri, Alejandro Franco and Kelly Jimenez. And these pieces here are all made of single-use plastic and cardboard. They're all environmental, looking at the Audubon series and looking at how humans have impacted the avian population. As we walk over here, this is a permanent installation. The doors and the chairs are by Jason Ackman. He's also a local sculptor. And each of these doors have little surprises. So I'm going to show you one. Here, as you walk in, you have the ability, as you walk into the lobby, to explore the different doors. Some have surprises inside and some do not. So as we walk through, you get a little disco ball moment right here. Each of these surprises were created by Marina Payne. So I'm going to have you pan over, and then we're going to meet over here at these folks.
Hey Vanessa, real quick, when you're closer to the phone, we can hear you better.
Okay. I apologize for my mask, but gotta stay safe, you know. So Angad Paul is one of our co-founders and one of, can you see that? We'll get a little closer. So Angad Paul, as one of our co-founders, these quotes are the cornerstone of the Arts Hotel. What is art but seeing the world in a different way? And what is life but a series of experiences connected together? These two quotes really set the cornerstones of all the art that we bring into the building. Now I'm going to take you up to the 12th floor because in our hotel, as I'll stand here, in our hotel, you check in on the 12th floor. So we're going to go and get that experience. So in the elevator, hopefully we don't lose you, but here, this video is by Zach Farmer. He is an emerging media and graphic artist here in St. Louis.
Oh, uh-oh. They'll be right back, I'm sure.
The entrance experience of the Chameleon Lounge.
We just missed what you just said. Can you repeat yourself?
Sure. I said you get the entrance experience of the Chameleon Lounge. So when you arrive on the 12th floor, this is what you walk out to. This is our reception lobby. The Chameleon lamp is a 360-degree projection media installation. It's permanent to the hotel. It has 4 hours and 144 different panels of media art by Zlatko Chosic. Zlatko is our media director of art. And as you walk in, I'm going to have my friend here, Cannon. You can actually see all the projections from the inside and the outside. So this is big enough, as you can see as I'm standing inside. You could sit here and drink a lot of cocktails right here in our little mushroom stand. And all the other pieces around here, the 6 pieces are by Paula Hancheski. She's an artist from Belleville, Illinois, and she's the same artist that did the eyeball pillows in our rooms, which you're going to see very shortly. We'll take you through the library really quick, and then we'll take you to the reception desk. So as we're walking around here, can you see me? This is the stairway to our rooftop bar, which has a skyline view of the Arch in St. Louis. Hopefully we'll end at the Gateway Arch at the end of this tour. And in here, this is one of the rooms where we showcase some of our local submissions. So as our biannual process, we have 2 submissions. I'll just turn this way. We have 2 submission processes every year where we invite all the local and regional artists within 200 miles to submit work. And we curate from just those submissions alone. So each of the pieces that you see, these public areas, these are all local artists that submitted work, and we curated from those submissions to fill all the public spaces in the building. So 2 times a year, it rotates with a very large reception, which is very fun. Hopefully, we'll continue those here again, post-COVID. They're coming this way. Now we'll go check in. Each of these pieces, this is called the Infinite Painting. This is the first 3 panels of a painting that's 100 panels long. Each of the panels in that painting do not connect in sequence. They can connect on the top, on the bottom, on the sides, all of those. So very interesting painting. Very lucky to have that one. And here we are at check-in. If you're a guest of the hotel, you would come to check in. Our agents here do actually sit down, so we like to sit and commune and talk about what you're doing in St. Louis and how we can best make your experience the arts experience that you came here to get. Each of these pieces in the public spaces, still part of our biannual submission. This large piece here is by Novi Beige. It is 12 feet long, and then you'll rotate around and we'll look at the other pieces here. So each of these artists, when they submit, there's no theme to the submission process. So what's very interesting about it is they submit their newest work or something exciting that they're working on, like a new series. So instead of the exhibit space downstairs, which has more of a theme and is a body of work, these are individual pieces. So as we curate, we choose the pieces as they fit together in the spaces. So we'll also introduce you to Angad. So Angad Arts Hotel is named for Angad Paul. He was an incredible creative from London. His father, Lord Paul, is from Jalandhar, so I'm going to pull over here. These are our international clocks. So as most international places have like Hong Kong and London and all of your standards, we have Kissing Germany and Go 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 Madagascar and Jalandhar India. And this one over here is the longest city name in the world. It's in Wales. And if you guys are really bored, you should look it up on YouTube because it's hilarious when the guys say it for the Weather Channel. All right, so we'll take a peek over here and then we're gonna jump on the elevator. Angela, how are we doing for time?
You're doing great. You have plenty of time.
Okay, so this is our playroom. In this space, all the public spaces are open, not just to guests, but public guests of St. Louis. So we have board games and instruments and lots of seating area. So what's really exciting is that we are actually an active gallery and museum that you can come see even if you're not a guest of the hotel. So this large piece here, I will, a little side note, personal tour of COVID. During COVID, we were the only museum or gallery that was open for viewing. All the other spaces had to close down, but as we were a hotel, we stayed open through COVID. So all the art in this building was regularly walked through from guests during that time. So very exciting. And we do have a big reception area there, but we're gonna take you down to our grand suite. We have one suite in the hotel, it's 2 bedrooms, very spectacular. I'm gonna tell you a little bit about the history of the hotel as we take the elevator in. So in this particular space, we have a quirky piece over here by Linda Horsley. It is hinged to fit right here in this corner at the elevator. All right, here we go. Hopefully we don't lose you in the elevator. So each of our guest floors, one color. We're currently We are the original home of the Radio City Rockettes. Did we lose you in the elevator, Angela?
Yeah, we lost you for just a sec.
Okay, I'll tell you a little bit about the history of the building here. As maybe I'll choose going down the hallway because it's not as pretty right now. So we are in the Missouri Theater. We opened in the 20s. So we're the original home of the Radio City Rockettes from New York, the dancing troupe. They started here in Missouri as the Missouri Rockets in the 20s, and they would dance before vaudeville shows. So it's a very spectacular history for St. Louis. And now I'm going to show you the Fox and the Grand Suite. We're going to go into the master bedroom there to the left. We'll back up and tell you a little bit about the rooms here. So each of our rooms has a set of artists. We do not rotate the art in these rooms. They are commissioned pieces from when we opened in November 2018. So here in the green suites, which I should tell you a little bit about our hotel here, we have green rooms, blue rooms, red rooms, and yellow rooms. We're the first hotel in the world that you can book your room on the emotion of color. Here you can feel the rejuvenation of the green room. It even has a Himalayan sea salt lamp to really clean out those ions for you. So in each green room, we have a large headboard here. This headboard is by Dale Chambers, local artist. We commissioned her, and so her piece is in every single green room that we have. We also have a room within a room. So I don't know if you can hear me here, but the really exciting thing about the rooms within a room is they're commissioned paintings of specific rooms in the hotel. And this particular one is of this room. So he's going to turn and show you. The only contemporary tub in the hotel is in this master bedroom here. And it does have a spectacular view of the arch. So this is the view that you get from your rooftop, which hopefully will end up there. Looks a little far away on the phone, but it's really spectacular. So you have a nice, we'll have him sweep through this amazing master bathroom here. And we do have 38 extended stay suites in the building. This is the only 2-bedroom. We have 2 very large suites as well. And then we have standard stay suites. So it has a secondary room. This is an original piece. In each of the 3 largest suites, we have original paintings. This is a very large, beautiful piece by Fran Meyer. So let's go this way. Got a little bathroom. So our standard rooms in the hotels are very similar to that master bedroom we were in. They all have about the same size except for the contemporary tub. However, we do have 8 Victorian clawfoot tub suites in the hotel. So if anybody's looking up images online, no doubt you are seeing these tubs. They are the highest booked rooms in our hotel. All right, let's move this way. So go stand here in the kitchen. So in the grand suite, we have a stove, an ice maker, you know, all of the amenities that come with a really fancy suite moment. We're also going to take you out of here and talk about the building a little bit more, but in each of our rooms, the set of artists does change, but it always exemplifies the feeling and the color of each of the rooms. So that's a really exciting part about the hotel. Let's swing it back through here. Yep, yeah. Take them on through to the rooftop, I guess. So as you can see, actually, these hallways are very gray. And the gray is supposed to, you know, cleanse your palate so that when you walk into a room, it has this punchy pow feeling. I'm gonna have you look at this really quick. Each floor is one color. So the reason we just walked into the green one is because of that big suite. But these nameplates or number plates are all hand painted by Jacob Berkowitz here in St. Louis. There's 146 rooms in this hotel. We hand painted all of these in a dust-free vacuumed room. I know, it's not exciting. Okay. So I think what we'll do is take you to the rooftop. How are we on? Want to answer any questions, Angela? Are we good on the time?
You have a few more minutes, and then we'll take questions. Feel free to type questions in the chat if anyone has any for now.
Good. Well, we're gonna head to the rooftop bar because everybody always wants to see the rooftop bar. So.
Okay.
St. Louis, you can come and visit the hotel.
We lost you again for a minute. Can you repeat that?
No worries, yeah. So all of our artists in the building are from within 200 miles of the exhibited artists. However, we encourage national and international artists to come to the hotel and participate in workshops and a speaker series we have. So we have a creative speaker series where we host other artists to share their journey and their, go ahead. We're taking another elevator. There are 2. The artists that we have here at the hotel really benefit from all of the communal knowledge of all artists throughout the world. So we've had many other speakers come. Did we lose you that time, Angela?
No, you were fine.
Okay. Not the prettiest, but hi Tim, you're on virtual tour for Tokyo. Yeah, cool. We didn't know if we'd have time to show you this part, but you are now on the rooftop of Angad Arts Hotel, which has a spectacular view of the arch. We're currently in the Grand Center Arts District, so actually from this view, you can see all the corners of our district. There's over 20 different locations, venues where you can go during art walks. So we have Contemporary Art Museum, we have the Pulitzer, we have Jazz Bistro, which is an internationally renowned space. We have 6 different theaters. And if you well, we don't want to show them that part, but the fox and the owl are two world-renowned. We have the second best symphony in the world, St. Louis Symphony, and it's right next door to the hotel. And then as you can see from this view, the Fox Theater is our Broadway theater for St. Louis. So we have lots of international and national acts come through there. This is Strauss Park. There's a jazz bistro there, part of our art walk. So that's kind of from the top to bottom there, Angela.
Wow, that's such an amazing view and an amazing location.
It really is. Even when they're doing construction, it's so spectacular up here. So.
Yeah.
We're just now reopening since COVID, and I can tell you everybody is really excited to get out here.
I'm sure. Well, thank you so much for the tour. We do have a few questions for you.
Okay.
And I'm going to go ahead and ask some questions in the chat, but please feel free to unmute yourself and ask a question directly if you'd like. First question from Kristen. Did you work with one interior designer or a group of different ones?
That's a really good question, Kristen. I'm going to stand here in front of this piece. We have been developed by the Lawrence Group, and the Lawrence Group is actually national here in St. Louis. Based here in St. Louis, but they have offices in New York and Austin. So they bring in their own interior designers for each project. Can you hear us? Because we didn't mute the music in here.
Yeah, I can hear you. So is the curatorial process for the rooms, does that look a lot different than the public art displays?
The process was different because we did have we had Art St. Louis, which is a St. Louis-based gallery. That brought people in. So those artists are still participating in our biannual submission process as well. And we have really good relationships with them. So since it's the whole community, I guess the art doesn't really change except that in the biannual process, we accept emerging artists and established artists. So their work is seen together in our public spaces, which is kind of different from a standard gallery. A gallery usually has to have a certain level, either you're at emerging or you're at established, but we welcome all of them. We want everyone within 200 miles to be part of this hotel because it's our community hotel. So you can see like children's art next to someone that, even though he's from St. Louis, may not be living here half the time because he's doing gallery shows or exhibits or something, all over the globe. So
yeah.
So mesh there.
That's amazing and a wonderful resource for the arts community. We have a question from Kyle. He says, I would imagine it would be hard to have a unique commissioned original for each room. For each color type of room, do you guys rotate prints by a set of artists?
So as of yet, we haven't rotated the art. So we opened in November 2018, and those pieces were all commissioned for the rooms. So we have two different artists for the headboard and the room within a room for each color. And then we have the eyeball pillows, which I totally didn't even show you, but you did see, I assume, by Paula Hancheski. Those eyeball pillows are in every room. And it does have a female and a male side, so it's kind of like it's a signature piece to our rooms. I think just being an arts hotel, we're always open to the idea of something new and changing things up. So I can't say that we wouldn't change them, but we haven't yet.
Yeah. Michael is asking, how do you protect the original pieces from hotel guests from damaging them or stealing them?
That's a really good question, Michael. And the thing is, they're insured. So we really hope they aren't damaged, but we own them. We already paid the artist outright in the eventuality that they age or have unruly guests. But so far we haven't had any, so.
That's great. Does anyone have any more questions for Vanessa? All right. Well, thank you so much, Vanessa, for joining us. This has been a really amazing experience. I hope we can all come visit you sometime.
I would love that. And if you do, if anybody's coming through St. Louis, please send us an email. I do personal curated tours. I love to talk about the art. And if you're an established or emerging artist that wants to talk about your journey or all of your resources, reach out and maybe we can set something up.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you guys.
All right. So next up, we're going to visit the Bna Altar Museum in Tokyo, Japan, and speak with Kigo Julian Fukugaki, who will give us a tour of this unique art creative space. So this
Great
hotel.
job.
Should we leave it?
Sorry, you guys are still on. Hold on.
Hello,
Sorry.
I'm really
All right. So the Bna Hotel in Tokyo features 31 permanent art exhibitions that you can sleep in, created by 15 Japanese artists under the direction of 9 art directors. A percentage of each room booking is direct income for the artist who has created the permanent exhibition. So in effect, by booking a room in this hotel, visitors become a direct patron of the arts. So this system creates continual income and exposure for artists working with patrons to have one-of-a-kind art travel experience. Bna works closely with local creative communities to build hubs for innovation, networking, learning, creating, and exploring, and is open to anyone wanting to join this odyssey. So now I'd like to hand it over to the Bna Altar Museum. Hello.
Hello, hi. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, Angela. I'm Taz, so I'll be talking instead of Keigo. Thank you very much for your tour. That was amazing. And I just wanted to say that I lived in Philly for 5 years for college and grad school, so I'm glad to hear you're connected from Philly.
Awesome. It's a great place.
Yeah. So I'm gonna present. Can you enable share screen for a little bit? I'm gonna talk a little bit about the project for like 2-3 minutes, like maybe four minutes, and then I'm gonna connect to Bna Altar Museum, which is our hotel in Kyoto. So they'll be connected live, and they'll be showing us around the hotel.
Sounds great. You should be able to share your screen now.
Yes. All right. Could you guys see the screen? Yeah.
Yeah, looks good.
Cool. So Bna, we're better another project. So our concept is stay in an art piece, support an artist. So our whole concept is that every room is created uniquely by a local artist as a piece of art. So instead of creating our interior and then putting the art at the end, we bring the artist at the very beginning of the process. And the architects work with each artist to create the interior for each of the rooms. So everything is bespoke, created for the room. Every room is unique. We don't have, and yeah, we have sound installations, we have light installations, even rooms with water installations, and we're all very community based. And this was our way of promoting the local artist community. And the reason why we got into hotels is that inherently hotels can bring in global audiences. And second is that it actually facilitates longer stays with art. So instead of going to a gallery and seeing something for 5 minutes, you actually get to spend a night with it and have a more intimate experience with the art. And it's also, as a hotel, it's a very good platform for collaborations with all sorts of creators, not just artists, but food chefs, designers. No, just hotel is a really good place to do many all these different creative things. So we started in 2016 in Koenji, which we call the Bushwick of Tokyo, with just 2 rooms and a gallery. We've been expanding ever since. So today we're going to be presenting from Kyoto, so this one. And we have another one coming, not 2020. We were supposed to open this year, but unfortunately because of COVID, it's going to be next year. So yeah, Bna Hotel is a physical platform to connect the local artist community with the traveling creators. So you get to stay in this bespoke piece of art and you get inspired. As an exchange, the hotel itself and the travelers become the patrons and empowerers of the local artist community. So the space itself is a great place to display your art to the world. and part of the profit goes to the artists who created the room, so it gives recurring income. And then a lot of the people who come and stay with us are people with great network globally. So it's a way for them to get out of Japan and be invited to places like Sydney, San Francisco, or getting commissions from abroad. And that's been happening a lot since we started. And how we build the hotels is that we work with existing communities within the city. So when we went to Kyoto, we found 8 community leaders in the region. There are university professors, gallerists, fashion designers, creative agencies. These are people who've been working with artists all their lives. And they selected artists, the local artists from their communities that think that would fit this project. So we are a platform for existing communities rather than us curating everything ourselves. So yeah, this is a couple of things that we're working with. In 2021, we're going to be opening a hotel called Bna Wall in Nihonbashi in Tokyo. As the name says, our main thing is the wall. It's going to be this big wall that connects the basement, which is going to be an art factory, and the first floor, which is the bar and cafe. There's going to be a wall that connects the 2 spaces with a lift. So you will be able to just sit and drink your coffee or drinks in the evenings while watching the artist working on this big mural piece. So this is where we're still under construction. This is how it looks like right now. Cool, so enough with the presentation with PowerPoints. And I want to bring in the local team from Kyoto. So I will be talking and the local team will be showing us around. つっつん聞こえる？聞こえますか？
聞こえます。
どこからどのアカウントですかね？今つながってるのってなんていうアカウントですかね？京都チーム。Let me see. Oh, here. Do you see the account that's moving? That's the one that says some Japanese word with no iPhone. Yeah? Yes, yeah, that one. Okay, good. So first room is a room by artist called Ryuichi Ohira. So what you see, these things, when you get closer, so it's a room called Goen no Ma. Goen in Japanese means 5 yens, but also it means connection. So all you see on the walls, these are all 5 yen coins. So 5 yen coins do carry a very unique position in the Japanese culture. So when you go to shrines and whatnot, you throw in 5 yen coins so that you have good connections, new connections. So this is a room that connects different guests throughout the timeline. So when you come, you find a 5 yen coin in your trip, and then you're allowed to stick it on the wall. So that's creating a connection between past guests and future guests.
I love that concept that the guests can participate. Yeah,
so you can see that little thing that's like sticking out on the wall. That's new. That wasn't there when we started. So this was a very painful process of sticking.
It looks like it. But they look like
it's about like $4,000 worth of like 5 cents coin, like a penny coin.
Oh wow. And even the installation is so nicely done.
Thank you. So let's go to the next room, maybe. So as you can imagine, this is a crazy. So okay, there's the next room. It's called My Room. It may not be a very video-friendly room. Oh, the room of the hotel is called Bna Altar Museum. That on art. So like a B&B, but instead of breakfast, you get art. So here you have this 2-meter huge art piece that's circulating really quickly with flashlights. So that's creating this animation. So you can lie down on the bed and observe this this very retro form of animation, I'd say. And it's by an artist called Akio Mishima. And for a Nanzuke gallery, so it's a gallery with quite renowned artists. But as you may know, flashlights with video doesn't work too well. Okay, let's go to the next room. Avi, no, you can turn it off. You don't have to sleep with the flashlights on. Okay, so this is a room based on a kabuki play. Kabuki play that's based that happens within a river that runs right behind this hotel. An artist called Yusuke Nakano. You can see little toys hanging around. He's famous for using toys as a way to express his art. Changing the light. You can see the moon comes up, and a lot of this, I don't know if you can see, a lot of these parts are phosphorescence. So you feel like you're under the river, under the moonlight. So the river is called Takase River, and it's this tiny river that runs in the middle of Kyoto. And there's a no, which is a Japanese, really traditional form of Japanese theater. And one famous one called Toru that happens within the river. The artist based this room on that art piece. Okay, let's go to the next room. So this is another crazy room. This is a room by Tetsuya Umeda. As you can see, half of the room is a puddle. Can you turn the sound on, please? Because it's actually a sound installation. つっつん、音開けますか？木村さんか。音出せますか？ミュート外せます？ Can you unmute, please? I don't know if you...
Let me try to do it.
Yeah. So what is happening? Oh, yeah. Okay, maybe it doesn't work at all. But basically what's happening is that there's water dripping from that bowl, glass bowl. And it's dripping on this platform. And there's a puddle there. And there's a speaker system that there's a microphone in the water that's sampling the water that drips. So it's a room that you can observe the light and the sound of water, things that you don't usually see. So it's giving focus to things that you don't usually see. Okay, let's go to the next room. So we got 31 rooms with 6 different artists. So each artist creates 2 rooms. And regarding the question the question from the last hotel is, we actually had 5 architects working with 16 different artists, since every room is completely different. Okay. This is a mural room by Mon, renowned mural street artist in Japan. So it's a mural piece, but what it's happening is that there's an light changing LED that's set up within the room, and it slowly changes color. And when the color changes, it reacts in different ways with the mural, changing the mural as well, which is a little hard to see, but the shape of the room is also created for this specific mural. So here you see how the architect, the carpenters, and the artists and engineers worked together to create this one room. And the concept is that you're under belly of a dragon. So you can see these legs coming down and you're looking up to the belly of this dinosaur. So you know how it works is like when there's a red light, the green color of the paint turns black, the red color of the paint turns white, and so on. So, okay, next room. So we'll go as many as we can within the time frame.
You have plenty of time. I just have a question real quick for you.
Sure.
So your hotel is a lot different like to the Angad Hotel, because I feel like these installations are like when you stay in one of these rooms, they're completely immersive.
Exactly. Yeah.
How long do people typically stay in these spaces, and like what kind of clientele do you have?
We were before COVID. We're about 80-90% Americans, Europeans, Australians, so the West. A lot of them are creative class people, so designers and entrepreneurs, journalists, people who are quite interested in this kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like when you go to an art gallery, you spend an hour with a piece, but this way you're like living with it, so it's a completely different and unique experience.
Exactly. I think this is a new genre in art, I believe, since it's quite rare to interact with a piece of art in such different mental states. The moment you go in, you get the wow factor. You see the art piece, you just like being in an art gallery. But then you spend 10 hours with it. You may go out for dinner, you come back a little tipsy, and you see in a different light. Or when you're like about to fall asleep, or you wake up in the morning, you're still like in between the space between sleep and the dreams and reality. You see the art piece in the morning sun. So you get to see these different sort of faces that art piece can have and interact with it in that really intimate way, which I don't think it's been done too much in the history of art. So yeah, it's a quite a unique experience, challenge for the artist as well. So trying to think about that timeline and interaction between the guests and the audience and the art piece.
Yeah, it's really interesting.
So this piece, it's called Double Dreams, and basically it represents the dreams of the two people sleeping in these two beds, merging in one. And it's been crafted from 5 to 6 kilometers of this Japanese string by Sato Sugamoto, a Japanese female artist. And some of it is a traditional handmade string called kumihimo that's very traditional to Kyoto. So you can see the two beds are placed in a way that it's right below the sculpture, and the dream of these two people will merge into one. Okay, next room. Okay, 1 or 2 more rooms, and I think we'll go into questions. So this is a little bit more traditional Japanese art. It's toban. It's a ceramic tile with traditional painting that's combined with a as well. So there's 2 rooms. This is the black room, and there's another one that's white, and it's a pair, like a yin and yang. It's done by a Kyoto-based Japanese female artist called Shoko that works with ceramic tiles, and ceramic-based pots. Cool. Maybe one more room and we'll go into Q&A.
Sure, that sounds great. I love how incredibly diverse the rooms are.
Yep. It's a room called Continuum by Daito Manabe. He's a really famous digital media artist in Japan. He's one of the creative directors, artists for the 2020 Tokyo Olympics opening, which didn't happen, but he's generally known for very interactive and sort of out there art pieces, but this is a very kind of zen room. So what's happening here is that there is another room in the 3D space that's exactly the same size and shape of this room. And there's a light shining from the middle of that room. And there's a camera that's capturing the shade of it and displaying in the screens. So, and the camera rotates once every 24 hours. So it's basically what you see, but you don't, it's almost like the Plato's, the paradigm, what was it called? Plato's, the cave. Oh yeah. The cave analogy, but in a digital form. It's like you're only looking at the shade of what's in the 3D world. And it really slowly moves, too slow for the human sort of senses to capture, but you look back at it after 10 minutes and you see that it's changed slightly. So it's kind of that very subtle media art. Cool. So, yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much for this tour. I guess we can go ahead and open it up for questions. We have a question from Kyle.
Mm-hmm.
I may have missed this. Are all the artists based in or from Kyoto or from all over Japan?
When we create artists, as I presented a little bit in the beginning, we're trying to be a platform for existing communities within that city or within that region. So in terms of Kyoto, Kyoto is not that big of a city for Japan. So we're working with artists and art directors from the region. So Kansai region, which is Kyoto, Osaka, Nara, mostly. But we work with local artists. So the next hotel in Tokyo will be working with Japanese Tokyo artists.
Do you ever open up the hotel for public view, or are all these projects usually private when people book these rooms?
Private. We have tours every now and then, but it's mainly for guests who book it, and you can choose which rooms you want to stay in.
And then you mentioned you had some water installations.
Mm-hmm.
What are those?
Oh, that was the room with a dripping that was kind of hard to see.
Oh, right.
So
cool.
That whole platform is like it's a puddle with water dripping.
Yeah.
It was hard to see the drips with the camera.
Right. We have another question from Kyle. How much flexibility do you give the artists in deciding what to do with the rooms?
Full flexibility. As long as it doesn't. So basically what we do is that we get them to think as crazy as they can, and that's their sort of proposal. Mm-hmm. And then we try to the architects trying to work with them to make it work as a hotel room, as well as for the fire codes and safety codes and whatnot. But we try to make, realize as much of the artist's vision as possible.
Yeah, that's really cool. Do you have a favorite project?
I have a favorite project. So there is one room that we couldn't show today. That's the suite room in this hotel. It's a room by the band Boredoms. The vocal for the band, the Boredoms. It's a band that was touring globally with Nirvana, and is famous for Kurt Cobain saying, "If I wasn't in Nirvana, the only band I would want to ever be is Boredoms." It's a really iconic Japanese band. So he created this one room that's it's impossible to really capture in video. That's why we didn't show it today, but it's a sound installation room that you can go in. it looks like a really normal room, but you can open up the sofa and there's a tunnel that goes under the bed to another room. It's all phosphorescent light with a 40-minute interactive sound installation that captures emotion and turns into sound. And that thing it's mind blowing. It's crazy.
That sounds awesome.
And you have to come to experience it.
I would like to. We have a question from Kerway. She says, how are other traditional hotel amenities and spaces like lobbies, bathrooms, etc., incorporated into the overall concept of the hotel?
So we have really nice, we didn't show it today, but we have really nice showers, bathtubs, and Japanese heated toilets with automatic bidets and whatnot. For this specific hotel, the common space, we have a bar, we have a cafe, and we have this very unique gallery called the Staircase Gallery. So what we did is we took the staircase, which is the fire exit that's usually at the front of the back of the building. We brought it to the front of the building since we built this building grounds up. And we realized that a fire escape is something you really have to create for fire codes, but it's a place that's rarely used. So if we turn that into an art space, we can actually create a space that has no financial pressure for the arts. So what turned out is called the Staircase Gallery is that it's a 10-story high fire exit that you can go up and down. And there's it's a vertical 31-meter vertical gallery that's next to it that you can explore. So that's the sort of the core public-facing content for this specific hotel. But for the next one, the Bna Wall in Kyoto, in Tokyo, the main thing is going to be the basement art factory. So it's going to be a pretty large, sizable for Japan, atelier place, a workshop place for artists to work on, and also the big mural that I talked about in the beginning. So we try to create this space where we can design this serendipity between the travelers and the local community, so the both of them mix in a more sort of natural way.
Yeah.
As possible. Yeah.
So what kind of feedback do you get from your guests, and does someone's feedback influence if you're going to keep a space the way it is, or do you make changes over time to any art pieces?
As you've seen, is that there's a huge diversity in rooms. So there's obviously people like one room and don't quite like the other room, and so there's a lot of room changes that happens, which is a pain in the ass as a hotel. But that's something that we have to deal with. An art piece that everyone likes is not that interesting either. So
yeah,
so that's the trade-off that we have.
So your guests can kind of see a picture of the room before they book, or are they completely surprised?
So what we did before was that until this year was that you could only select rooms if you booked from our own website, but if you book from OTAs like Booking.com and Expedia, you can't, right? So that will be the perk of booking from our site. But we realized that creates too much trouble because a lot of people complain about not liking this room or liking the other room. So from this year on, you will be able to select the rooms 100%.
Cool. So Eileen is asking, what's the most popular room in the hotel?
The most popular room in the hotel in this one, I think the sound installation room that I told you guys about. I think that's one of the most popular ones.
And the sound plays 24/7, like
it only plays when you're in there because
okay, got it.
It's a tunnel that you have to open and you go in.
Yeah. Okay. Lisa has a question. If they stay longer, can they change their room during their stay and experience different rooms?
Yeah, sure. We accommodate for that. And there are guests who do that. Nobody has, gone through all 31 rooms, but
that sounds
like create a passport to something that you can.
That sounds like a fun thing to do. Experience every different room in the hotel. Great. Well, does anyone else have any more questions for Kaz? All right. thank you so much for joining us today and for showing us your space. It was
Thank
really,
you.
really interesting. I
It's
definitely
a
want
great
to
honor.
and experience this in person. How has COVID affected your business, and are you guys still open right now?
Oh, it's been devastating.
Well, obviously.
As I said, I think 80-90% of our guests were Western people,
Okay.
Americans, Europeans, and Australians who are more sort of cultured in terms of art, more interested in art than Japanese people in general. We've reopened last month, but it's still being quite slow. So
We have one more question. Are you doing specials or anything to incentivize locals to stay?
not as of yet, but we're thinking of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully the travel ban will be lifted soon and we'll all be able to
I
come
really hope so.
to.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely a place I want to check out. All right. Well, thanks everyone for joining us for this global artist creative space tour session. I also want to let you guys know that tonight, well, in my time tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern time, we're doing another set of artist studio tours at Venture Cafe. We have 4 individual artists and we're going to be looking inside of their studios. So we'd love for you to join us for that in a little bit of time. So thanks everyone. Have a great day.